allow children under the age of 18, not 16. 16 years, but we implore you, our leaders. I just read the Children's Act. We implore you, our leaders, to enforce the Children's Act of 2009 and protect innocent children from physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. We continue to observe the good intentions of the Act, of Section 25 of the Act being ignored, with cases of abuse against children going uninvestigated until they fizzle away into oblivion. We demand that the state make it its business to investigate any substantive rumor and or suspicion of child abuse without fear or favor. Whether it has been reported or not, we want it to be investigated. As more often than not, the victims would not report the incident if their guardians choose not to. Number 3, we demand that the state ensures psychologists are appointed to regional education officers, specifically to work with schools in their regions, to identify these kids that may be going through any form of abuse and assist these children to overcome any traumatic event that they may have experienced. Number 4, that the president, by the power vested in him, ensures that those expected by society, by virtue of societal status and public duties, uphold the very laws that seek to protect our children. In this vein, His Excellency the President of Botswana should relieve Honorable Fidelis Milili Molao, Dr. Unity Dawes here. His Excellency, the President of Botswana, should thus relieve Honorable Fidelis Molao of his position as the Assistant Minister of Education and Skills Development, to allow him, we're not accusing him, we're just saying to allow him to clear his name. Following the allegedly fraudulent leaked screen matches of a conversation between himself and his junior. By the way, he hasn't also come out clearly to condemn his junior. Between himself and his junior, the Sabina councillor, Kembonye Amon. There's no way I'm putting honorable before Kembonye Amon's name. No way. As citizens, we require complete reassurance that the welfare of our children will be safeguarded by all officials of the Ministry of Education. We know very well what happens to teachers if they do commit the same. It's straightforward. So the same should happen to those above the teachers. As things stand with the serious allegations facing Honorable Molao, we do not have confidence that the Assistant Minister of Education has the best interest of our children at heart. Number 5, that our leadership is sensitized of these issues and is awake to the fact that the development of our youth, the investment into their futures, is of enough national concern to warrant that we hold them to the utmost level of responsibility. Those implicated, we want the leaders to know, that we hold them to the utmost level of responsibility. Thus, those implicated in undermining these efforts must be removed from public office and relieved of their duties. Number 6, our commitment to the future of this country should be of paramount importance. As such, we cannot, as a collective, be seen to be holding this potential at ransom at the expense of shielding the reputation of those in public office. It would actually be of more benefit to the nation and the security of its future to remove any alleged threat until proven otherwise. For our small country, number 7, for our small country, barely recovering from the AIDS epidemic of the 90s and early 2000s. Unemployment, poverty, I didn't say that. Those are not my words. And struggling to get a grasp on an entirely new generation that demands a lot more from us as parents, guardians, and entire nation. Taking into account the economic and human resource investment into this key segment of our population, we demand that our leadership demonstrate not only through word, but deed, the absolute intolerance of those that are alleged to and seem to undermine the national effort into this investment into our youth. A thorough investigation should be launched against the assistant minister, because if the linked conversation is found to be real, he would have committed a number of wrongs, including among them conspiracy to murder, counseling someone to procure an abortion, defeating the ends of justice, and many others, all of which, if true, would be serious charges. Number 8, that Honorable Fidelis Molao, his counselor, Dishonorable Kimwengi Amon, he has confessed. He confessed. When there's no investigation, he said it, he admitted. And others alleged to have committed the same crimes. Do the honorable thing, as their title suggests, and resign from their elected positions as members of parliament and councillors respectively. And work on clearing their soiled names. We refuse to have community and political names and political leaders, whose names have been tainted in this manner, and who we trust cannot lead our nation as our moral compass in this our 50th year of independence. You know, this is a very sad moment for Botswana. The campaign, I Shall Not Forget, believes that, save for a few loopholes, the government of Botswana has done a lot to address the gross abuse of children of this country. We believe the resources are there. The legal framework exists. The Children's Act. The legal framework exists. Policy, both structural and financial or economic. The only gap is effective implementation. We have the framework, we just need people to start implementing these things. We believe that education is of great significance. As such, we are calling for all perpetrators to be brought to justice. We need to reconcile these wishes to the reality that some in our nation need to be educated. We want Neo to have a PhD like Dr. Moko. It's not fair that she's a JC dropout and before we know it, I don't even want to talk about her future. I don't know. It makes me very emotional to think about her future. The definition of a child, we need to reconcile these wishes to the reality that some in our nation need to be educated on the very basics of the definition of a child, what defilement is, the Children's Act, and their rights therein. The government of Botswana has spent billions of pula through its different functions and funds to multitudes of NGOs to sensitize the general public, with a lot of resistance from the same communities. However, the I Shall Not Forget movement has been able to ignite a passion in the general public where government previously fell short, whereby the public is now actively prepared to tackle this predicament. We now implore the government to take advantage of these societal initiatives. And again, we thank Madao. She came, she joined us. Well, I wish a lot more, lawmakers would have come. If even the entire parliament, we could have still housed them. I guess we had enough water and oranges. Even like this and say hi. Whereby the public is now actively prepared to tackle the predicament. We now implore the government to take advantage of these societal initiatives to propel its mandate of child protection. In conclusion, maybe perhaps, I don't know, when I was reading the demands, I thought maybe perhaps, sometimes when we're sending messages, sometimes we have to speak in the vernacular. Perhaps I should have spoken in Kalanga, to send a message straight to just Honorable Amon and Minister Molao, to say that their names are tainted, to say, Mazina enyu, abumatope. So, endani, In conclusion, we all need to stand up and root out this rot before it permeates throughout our society. We need to all stand up and root out this rot before it permeates throughout our society. We have brought these children into this world, and it is therefore our responsibility to see to it that no harm befalls them. Failure to meet these demands. Now, I get we've demanded from the state. Now, this is in conclusion. Failure to meet these demands would indicate that the state has no interest in protecting our children. We would be left with no option but to seek legal recourse, including resorting to a private prosecution for suspected criminal acts. Otherwise, we would have failed in our primary duty as citizens. Long live women and men against all sexual abuse of children. Long live